is connected to that spirit. We've always been on independent labels and made music that we wanted to make. I think that's what Six Music celebrates in all its different forms.
Paul Smith's finest hour.
This afternoon from 2
on BBC Radio 6 Music. His biggest non-fall hit, and also led to a memorable Top of the Pops appearance. Clint Boone calls the night to mark his contribution.
He came to Park Street one evening, I think it was a Friday night. Our producer Pascal Gabriel had gone home for the week and he didn't want to be involved with this, what was about to happen. So the engineer, Cliff Norell, an American guy who worked with some massive artists like Ariana, he stayed behind me and was waiting for Smith to arrive Friday night. Mark arrived about 2 hours later. Walks into the studio and he just says, Clint, have you got 60 quid for that taxi outside? So he got a taxi over from Preston to Liverpool, which didn't have a clue that was going to work in. But yeah, recorded 2 tracks that night, Sat 5, and I Want You, and it was as shambolic as you would expect. And it was, you know, let's try that again, let's try something different. He managed to kill a £3,000 microphone by shouting down and then smacking it to the floor, and it was very memorable evening. I think we all know Mark enough to know that you can't predict or plan stuff like that. Can you just you get what happens really? You know, the press days that we did, the photo shoots that we did, the video shoot that we did, Top of the Pops we did. Every day was just like you're just stepping off the edge of a cliff and you don't know what's going to happen because you're going to spend the day with Mark Smith, and that's exciting and terrifying at the same time.
TV adverts and film soundtracks. In 2007, Marquis Smith released an album with the German group Merstham. And in 2010, he appeared on Gorilla's third album, Plastic Beach, leading to a guest appearance on the main stage at Glastonbury. My favourite ever Glastonbury moment. He also popped up on BBC One's Final Score, reading the football results.
Chelsea 3, Newcastle United 0. Liverpool 3, Portsmouth 0. Manchester City 0, Blackburn Rovers 0. Tottenham Hotspur postponed, West Ham United 1H.
Mark might be inching his way towards national treasure status, but there's still an air of mystery, an unwillingness to play along and reveal too much, which fascinates his fans. Here's Luke Haynes.
It's easy to kind of play for sort of like, you know, a crowd of, whatever, London people or something like that, because he's aware that there's a certain element of smoke and mirrors. I think there's a small element of the full kind of branch of showbiz, but that's a very kind of hidden kind of thing.
Fat White Family formed in 2011, but could be described as Sons of the Fall, owing to their chaotic live shows and stream of consciousness lyrics, accompanied by that woozy, repetitive sound. Singer Leah Stowdy reckons Marky Smith has a complex relationship with his fans.
She's got I Am Damo Suzuki, you know. So I think I looked at that and I thought it would be a good idea to have a song called I Am Marky Smith. I didn't want it to be just like, you know, I'm Nana or Marky Smith. I wanted it to be kind of like, you know, calling time on it a little bit as well, you know. That whole shtick thing is kind of, you know, nice to retains it and have people buy into it. Because I think in a very deep way I have myself. You know? So I was just kind of looking at that, trying to work out where it starts and where it stops. Just nobody else has fired that many people. You know, it's quite incredible how he's kept it going. They were on the same bill at a festival, and they were on like the hour before us, but he was in the dressing room right opposite us, you know, with a bottle of champagne. And Nick Saul was like, you got to speak to him. I was like, no way, man, no way. If he pulls me down, I'll never recover. I'll be scarred, you know, reverberate for the rest of my life. You know, I don't want to speak to him. Let's take him off stage because the weather was bad and refused to get off and asked everybody to play their band up. And I was like, it's just beautiful. You know, that was when we were shooting that video and we had like we had a lookalike announce us on stage, you know. And it was I think it was some people from the NME were like, oh, Marky Smith's on stage, and they were asking us the next week, you know, how do you feel about Mark and Nancy on stage? And I was like, oh, it's brilliant. He's a big fan.
studio album on the way and regular live shows, there seems to be no slowing up of the Fall's relentless activity. So what's next for Marky Smith? And will the world always hold a place for the darker vision of the Fall?
So I always thought he'd settle down and write books or something, but I don't know whether the attention's going to do that. It's a bit different. Making records, he's good at, he knows he's good at, he's comfortable with it, so
kind of great weighing up of all art and culture. I think the Fall will be seen as, you know, one of the most important art events, or he'll be seen as one of the great artists. And I'm not talking about like artists as like rock artists, but art, as in with a capital A, artist of the 20th and 21st century, without doubt.
I think it'll always be appreciated by a certain section of the population. Yeah. People appreciate anyone who ploughs their own furrow, no matter what. You know, you might go out of fashion for a time, you know, but you're always going to come back again. You know, people are always going to rediscover man and what he does, and they're always going to read up on the social context from which he came and make their own. You know, everybody's got a different take on Mark, and that's the strength of what he does.
The Fall is a very sacred thing to a lot of people across the world, you know. And I think in Britain is the least appreciated. That doesn't, well, just say.
to the podcast version of The Infinite Monkey Cage, which contains extra material that wasn't considered good enough for the radio. Enjoy it.
Hello, I'm Robin
today we're dealing with biology, which Brian never used to be keen on, but he is now, because apparently it also involves physics, which is great news for Brian, very bad news for me, because I was just about to start understanding biology, then they turn it into physics, which is far too difficult for me.
You were saying involves physics.
Yeah.
So it includes physics.
It kind
So
of
biology is a wider subset of science, and physics is a subset, and there are elements inside the physics, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Is this going to kick off now? Because I think if you want a neutral person to referee, it should definitely be the person who knows the least about what you're talking about. So there you go. I will take that job.
Did he just say that biology includes physics?
I think if you were spoiling for a fight, you could probably read that into what he said.
Today, we're asking what we call plants. Are plants just decorative oxygen factories and something to fan up animals? Or are plants subtle, intricate machines more complex than does photosynthesis rely on quantum mechanics?
Can Venus flytraps be vengeful?
Could life on Earth exist without plants?
Do bonsai trees have a height tolerance?
How did plants emerge from the oceans?
When is the strawberry dead? We're not going through that one again.
To rescue us from the on-air disintegration of Robin Inton to tell us all about plants, we have a physicist, a plant geneticist, and a former horticultural student, and they are.
Hello, I'm Jamal Khalidi. I'm a professor of theoretical physics at the University of Surrey. And my favourite plant is a Romanesque broccoli because it has a fractal structure and it tastes nicer than broccoli.
You did that brilliantly as if you were on Call My Bluff, because you had a little pause when because, as if you didn't really know why, and then quite not sure whether a fractal structure is true or bluff.
Watch and learn.
I'm Jane Langdale. I'm a professor of plant sciences at the University of Oxford, and my favourite plant is maize, not only because it's the highest yielding grain crop in the world, but because some beautiful experiments were done with it that have shown us some fundamental principles, which is a bit of a geology, but I'm a scientist.
She definitely knew what she was talking about.
Bring it on.
That was very convincing.
Bring it on, the night is young.
When I dropped out of the BSc in horticulture at South University, and my favourite plant is aster. It's a lazy, tiny plant that has an easy to remember Latin name, good plant in my book. And the Latin name of the alpine aster is Aster alpinus.
And this is our panel!
Jane, the first question is, what is a plant? So is there a scientific definition of
I think we can say that a plant is a multicellular organism that is in the lineage most closely related to green algae.
I'm surprised it's that complicated a definition, really.
What do you want to say?
Something that's alive that's not an animal.
No, I was going to say that it's not an animal, but it's not an animal, it's not
It's
a
not a
fungus.
virus.
So it's not a fungus, it's not an animal. Not a virus, it's not
See,
alive.
that's
Are they alive viruses?
It's not a fungus thing is a bit of a tricky one for me. I always thought that a fungus was a plant. And now I've been told that it they obviously covered that in third year. I dropped out during second.
So if you're vegetarian, you shouldn't eat fungus.
That's the kind of thing, is that means these mushroom soup eating vegetarians are hypocrites.
Yeah.
Fungi are more closely related to animals than we are.
So
It's true, I'm not making it up.
we share a common ancestor with a fungus. Before, so there's a split between plants and us and fungus.
Correct.
So Ed, why do you
Fungi. What's the correct term actually? Fungi. Isn't it? Fungi.
fungi, is it fungi or fungi or fungi?
Is that
Reference.
really?
It
Cool.
depends on whether you're ordering an Italian pizza or not.
Are you a plant or a plant? I'm a plant. He's obviously a plant.
This is never been more radio call than this.
did you have dreams of horticulture and wealth?
I used to work with my uncle, who was a gardener. He turned out to be my uncle, he's actually my father's cousin, but it's a long story. Talking about what lineages are most close to what lineages, but he was a gardener and I used to work with him, and I thought, you know what, I'll get a degree in this, and proved myself wrong 2 years in. Yeah, there wasn't really any great thing. I came from one of those backgrounds where, even though I did quite fancy the idea of becoming a performer, there was the notion that you had to teach yourself a trade first and then have that to fall back on. So I wasn't going to go to college to study drama, I went to college to study culture instead. And I dropped out and pointed out to me when I was on a panel show with Jonathan Ross once, where he just said, think about it, Ed, if you'd stuck with gardening, you might have your own TV show by now.
Jim, I asked you, this is the thing, is we're doing a show predominantly about biology, about the nature of plants, and I wondered, why? Why do we have you here as a physicist?
Ah.
I don't mean why are you here? I mean, obviously there's good reasons.
Ever since the 1920s, 1930s, physicists strode out of their labs, the quantum physicists, hoping arrogantly that they could solve all the mysteries of science. Now again, we're seeing another return to that arrogance. We quantum physicists feel we have something to say about biology, molecular biology, because it turns out there are certain examples within biology that you can only explain using quantum mechanics. So that's where I come in.
But you're not usurping. I mean, you make that sound like it's kind of like the arrogant thing that is actually, is this one of those great kind of moments where you see that science coming together, where the disciplines which seem very. I mean, at what point do we really see that moving of the two disciplines beginning to overlap?
Well, I think it's funny. I mean, biologists tend to say we've gone on very well without learning any quantum mechanics. Balls and sticks models of molecules work very well. We don't need anything else. Physicists feel that biology is very difficult, very messy, complicated, and they much rather do their experiments in their sterile labs in a vacuum, 0 degrees, and so on, where they can control everything. But they are coming together now, and it turns out actually it's the chemists who've been thinking about this and doing this for years now, and they're the ones that are sort of adjudicating. So it's physicists, chemists, and biologists coming together to tackle problems in molecular biology that we didn't think would need any physics or quantum physics to be specific. And it's not just, life is molecular biology, which is basically organic chemistry, which ultimately has to be underpinned by quantum mechanics, because that's the rules that tell us how atoms fit together. It's not that trivial, quantum mechanics. It's the non-trivial, weird aspects of quantum mechanics that seem to be important. In my new book, which is on your table in front of you, which I'm assuming going to get round.
Well, thank you, but you left a long enough pause. So everything you say is going to have a level of suspense going, and then there's no time for that though. Chapter 4 doesn't have it.
Jane, if we go back to we talked about the definition of the planet. So in the history of life on Earth, so life begins sometime 3.8, 3.9 billion years ago or so. When